I'm bucking deep in Tennessee with my brothers from the 3. We quick to click and break the peace. No respect for what they.
Hey guys, it's Jakey here with the new type of video. This is a retrospective. This is my retrospective on Tokyo Ghoul. This video is called Misunderstood Masterpiece. So, okay, if you don't know what Tokyo Ghoul is, it's how do I explain it? It's a story about Ken Kaneki, who's a young boy from Tokyo. He goes on this date with this girl named named Rise, and he finds out she's a ghoul and bites him, and ghouls survive off of flesh. So that's basically just what Tokyo Ghoul is, the synopsis of what it is. So the story was created by Sue Ishida, and I just wanted to make this video to talk about Tokyo Ghoul. So Tokyo Ghoul is often credited with revitalizing the horror manga, and while it may have encouraged works of that genre, the series is more of a blend of manga's darker genres, dealing in dark fantasy and psychological, rich world building, and deep character study with all the characters and things. And Tokyo really owes much of its success to its unique tone and storytelling approach. So there's some serious depth with enough edginess to appeal heavily to the seinen demographic, but it's that blend that enticed such a strong fan base, which would expand exponentially following the anime series. So Studio Parrot in 2014, they made an anime adaptation of Tokyo Ghoul. It was divisive. On one hand, it awkwardly condensed and rearranged the manga's plot, which longtime readers weren't happy about, but on the other, it was able to adapt Aisha's story in a way that appealed to more people than ever. It was that in episode 12, titled Ghoul, that really came to define the series. Studio Parrot, they put forth their best, perfectly recreating Kaneki's inner conflict, like his inner white hair shift and his fantastic battle against Jason. But overall, the season opened the floodgates for Tokyo Ghoul fan base, it quickly making the anime one of the most popular of the year and eventually of all time. That's just I can't begin to believe what the hell is that? Is that a moth? I'm sorry, there's a moth in there. Anyway, the opening was called Unravel. It was by Toru Kijima, or TK. He took over the world for a while, introducing many to an exciting new side of Japanese music, and what may be TK's magnum opus, Unravel, was a fantastic track Taylor is made for Tokyo Ghoul, and it's a strong contender for the most popular anime opening of the 2010s. With competition from Attack on Titan's Gurren no Yumiya, paired with powerful visuals playing into the credits of episode 12, Unravel was very much an important part of the Tokyo Ghoul freight train, and it still is it still is popular today. Song. There's also an acoustic version of the song released later on, so that was pretty cool. So if the Tokyo Ghoul started the train, the Tokyo Ghoul Route A was, in a way, in my opinion, I like I like season 2, but let's just say this is the train wreck. Studio Parrot's time constraints and profit margins motivated huge changes to the manga's plot. As Tokyo Ghoul went on into its second season, these changes made the anime hard to follow, losing the impact of the manga's great ending. Though it wasn't all bad, I enjoyed it, so it wasn't bad for me, but for other people, they just did not like that it didn't adapt the rest of the manga, which I can understand that now that I've read it and understand the story, and I like the rest of the manga after Kaneki's change and other stuff. So, though when viewed in a vacuum, some moments were adapted well, and the series benefited from Yutaka Yamada's brilliant soundtrack, making the anime nice to listen to. The band Amazarashi also treated fans to a terrific ending theme, an acoustic rendition of Unravel, that's pretty cool. I personally think it's good in its own way. Now that I've read Tokyo Ghoul a few months ago, when I finished it, I understand what they meant by some things were confusing, some things why they didn't adapt this, why they didn't adapt that. But that's what makes me love it so much more. That it's its own thing, but yet it still adapts moments from the manga, which I understand the manga First Year was way better than making it up. I agree. But I'm okay with the way they went, but I wish they did more close to the manga so that I'll get to the Tokyo Ghoul Re later on. But anyway, I really would have loved to see more of the original source material adapted. Hopefully someday it will happen. Anyways, if fans weren't pleased with the adaptation to Blu-ray, it was widely watched and the fan base kept growing. But however, around that time, the series entered some problematic territory. So, in China, young people began imitating the skin embroidery of Juzo Suzuya, one of the popular characters in the series. They would stitch by stitching patterns in their skin in a similar way. He would stitch patterns into his body, and this was considered self-harm, so this term was very controversial, and Tokyo Ghoul was then on banned in China. So that wasn't good. Okay, so Tokyo Ghoul Tokyo Ghoul Re. This is a sequel that was serialized between October 2014 and July 2018. Tokyo Ghoul Re is the highly anticipated sequel to Tokyo Ghoul. Following his death, Kaneki becomes an amnesiac ghoul investigator named Heisei Sasaki. Now, he's captaining. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't say that. He's captaining a squad of manufactured half ghouls. They're made. Okay, their ghoul Kagene was made inside them. They're called the Quink Squad. They're half ghouls. They can eat human food, but Kaneki can't. Just to clarify that real quick, just say that. It's because he wasn't born a half ghoul. He was made. But cool, yeah, it was complicated. So anyway, Kaneki confronts his past and the many unresolved plot points. In the original manga, the manga had a strong first few volumes, and Sue Ishida's dramatically improved artwork shown. Unfortunately, Ishida also experienced some serious motivation problems. He tailed into Tokyo Ghoul Re afterward. He overworked himself to such an extent that, like his protagonist, Ishida lost his sense of taste. Suffice to say, Tokyo Ghoul Re was noticeably rushed in its second half. Ishida refused to take a break from the manga, wherein he would disappoint fans by never returning. In the end, he finished well, but it was a bittersweet ending to the series. I personally liked the adaptation of the anime. I think it was. Now, again, it was 180 chapters, put into 24, so it's rushed. He also had, I know his anxiety. He also had like anxiety about having to finish it because not him. It wasn't his fault. It was the studio. Studios always force you to finish stuff like on a certain time, and I was like, well, you gotta finish this time. Yeah. I understand his problems with losing sense of happiness, working on it, motivation. But series wasn't over yet. The anime had fans wishing it was, but without exaggeration, Tokyo Re anime was one of the worst adaptations of the 2010s. But in my opinion, I think it was an okay adaptation, even though it was rushed. After returning to the manga's plot of straying away from it in Tokyo Ghoul Route A, it left many people confused, and it only got hard to understand from there. Crunching down 180 chapters in 24 rushed episodes made for a thoroughly okay anime. But unlike Rude, Tokyo Reed didn't have the luxury of a few well-adapted moments, so our quality of its art animation direction was different than the original anime style. The franchise isn't as popular as it once was, so chances of another adaptation are yet slim, but still, Tokyo Ghoul fans like me and alike are hopeful for a remastered Tokyo Ghoul without Studio Parrot at the helm. Similar to what happened with Full Metal Alchemist, how they had Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I actually did like the anime adaptation. I just wish it was done better though, and didn't rush so much. And still, it's okay in my opinion. I get enjoyment out of it. Is all that matters to me, in my opinion about it. Some other stuff about Tokyo Ghoul. If you didn't know, they had a live-action Tokyo Ghoul film. It came out in 2017. It was directed by Ketaro Hagawa, and in 2019, it received a sequel in Tokyo Ghoul S. The live-action anime adaptations were often mocked, but in many ways, these films managed to be better adaptations than the animes. Two films were received well, earning their place in the franchise. Other Tokyo media include the spin-off manga Tokyo Jack, which I have seen the anime adaptation of that. I haven't read it, in which gave backstory to key figures from the original manga, the artwork, the Tokyo Ozaki, which contains some of Ishida's best Tokyo illustrations, along with unreleased concept art. The series also had 4 light novels written by Shin Tawada, with a few even available in English from Viz Media. The anime has 2 OVAs, Tokyo Jack, adapted from the spin-off manga, and Tokyo Pinto, adapted from the Tokyo Days light novel. But also the franchise, besides all the manga and all the anime and all this other stuff, all the controversial movies and live action stuff, they had a few games. They had Tokyo Jail, an action adventure game released for the PlayStation Vita. Tokyo Re, Call to Exist. I like that game, but some people don't like it. A survival action game released on PlayStation 4. And so mobile games, some are pretty fun to be honest. And well, while Tokyo's run as a pop culture staple may be not as well known as it was back then, it still remains a defining series of the 2010s, and it's still overflowing iconic storytelling characters and moments of various incarnations of Tokyo Ghoul, barring some disappointing moments in anime seasons, but they're definitely worth revisiting. Recently, the final volume of Tokyo Re was picked up by Viz about a year ago, 2 years ago, sometime in 2020, I think. They just finished reprinting it, so the last volume of Tokyo Re just came out, the whole series. Anyway, if you think it's the manga, that's good. You can read it and watch it. But in my end opinion, I like the manga a lot. And I like the anime a lot, and I think Re is a misunderstood anime. My opinion. It's not the best, but it's not bad. It's okay. But it's good in its own way. It just skips some stuff, and that was my only issue with it. It certainly was a different style of animation, though, which I actually kind of liked in some ways, but it was an unpopular version of the anime. I still enjoyed it for what it's worth. I'm still reading the Re manga, in fact, so that's funny. I'm actually on volume 3 of the Re manga. I'm in the episode of Tokyo Ghoul Re where Takizawa and Kaneki, or Heisei, fight for the first time. Anyway, well, Sue Ishida, you made an amazing story, and I've been able to connect greatly with the characters, so thank you for that, and I hope someday you get that longer Tokyo anime adaptation you deserve, and not the episodes one, because I feel like if you did like let's see, 25 to like 30 episode season, or if you did like a 30 episode season or 40 episode season 1, and did in 2 sections, section 1 and then section 2. In Tokyo Re, the new adaptation of it, you have it in 2 parts, 20 episodes and then another 20 episodes. have 40 episodes a season. You know, you can do everything in the manga. You don't miss anything. You do everything. I mean, that's what I feel like. You can even put in the freaking OVA stuff in between that, some backstory, make it interesting, make it like 30-minute episodes. I don't know. Just some ideas still out there for what could happen if it ever came back. But yeah, Tokyo Ghoul as a whole is just a misunderstood masterpiece, and it forever changed the genre of seinen weekly. Kinda, not some not really, but some inspired new manga stories after that. Even if you want to see a video on Chojin X, that manga so far is really good, and it resembles a lot of Sue Ishida's work on Tokyo Ghoul. I'm still reading Tokyo Ghoul, and I do recommend you read Chainsaw Man. So I make that suggestion. But anyway, thank you for watching this. I would say retrospective. I don't know what else to call it. Video essay. Frick, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble about Tokyo Ghoul and how I think of it as a misunderstood masterpiece. And yeah, thanks so much for lending me your time. Have a good day. Bye, guys.